Hey guys, I was waiting for her to say that we were live. So, hey, welcome to our Aquaponics on a Budget show. This is show I don't know. I need to keep track of that and start saying this is show blah blah blah. But today we're going to go through our $250 system. Now this is I'm going to show you the different things on it. I mean, I can't walk you around and show you the different things, but I can point at them and you can understand where I'm coming from. But yeah, our system, you know, $250, and the pump was one of the main costs of it. The pump was $44, so you can just hack that down, and then you could say pretty much our $200 system. And with counting $50 worth of PVC pipe, you know, the different fittings and the different pipes that I have draining and stuff like that, you know, you're down to $150. Most of this wood you see is recycled and scavenged, and you know, I borrowed it from a sawmill. I mean, you can work for somebody and get the stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of noise coming out of the house, and I was wondering about that. So, but I guess Chris is looking for the comments. But the barrels I got from a buddy, and actually I paid $8 a barrel for all the barrels. The IBC was given to me by my brother. You know, long story, but the IBC right there was given to me. This the sump tank, which y'all can't see, it's just out of sight. I keep my larger breeders down here. You know, I got some 3.5 pound tilapia in there. I keep them down in the sump tank. But me and Krista were driving down the road, and this tank was laying in the middle of the road down a deserted, you know, back road. So we pulled it off the side of the road, and we set it inside because we thought somebody would be coming for this thing, you know. So we drove on, and we worked for about 8 hours, and you know, helping a friend, and then came back, and it was still sitting there. So we think, well, what the heck? Nobody really wants that or cares about it. So we went ahead and picked it up, you know, and brought it home. You know, so we gave them plenty of time to come get it. And we retrieved it from the middle of the road. It was out in the middle of nowhere. So, oh well, I don't think that was wrong at all. But anyway, let me explain to how this system works. I have water holding. If the system is not on right now, I have water holding in several different locations, and I have water holding in the sump tank. I have water holding in the IBC. I have water holding in my baby. This is my baby and adolescent tank right here. The big black one. Somebody actually gave me that too. So, so I have water holding in different places. So that when the system is not running and the chilly night, I cannot run it at night. I know that might be bad for some of y'all, but circulating through a cold greenhouse is not a good thing. So, but I have water holding in these upper tanks. Now, these upper tanks are the flush system. Everything comes to the sump tank. Whatever overflows comes to the sump tank. So what happens in my system is, and I learned this from American Homestead. If you look at his aquaponics system, you'll see it's similar to this. Not exactly like this, because I didn't have blueprints. I watched the video one time and I come out, I said, that's a good idea. And I came out and did it. So there you go. But I hold the water down here. I pump it up to here. This is the only pump that works. And I pump it up to this tank, and you can see that I have two 55-gallon drums here too. And the water level, you can see, is about right there in here. The water level is about right here. Now, this this causes a flush system. So when this fills up, the pump fills up this area, it fills up that 2-liter bottle, and that 2-liter bottle will drop down from the weight of the water. And there's a hole in it, and I have the 2-liter bottle lid off just so y'all can see. You see the hole in it. So when it starts filling up, it's draining immediately. So, and what that does, when that drops, it pulls a plunger, a toilet bowl plunger in here. And this toilet bowl plunger pops open while the 2-liter bottle is down. So that water immediately runs from here. It runs to this tank. And I know y'all can see these pipes coming out of here. So when this is the water level about right here. This is the water level about right there. That's where this water level always stays, about right there. But it'll fill up all this, and as it fills up all that, it starts running through these pipes. And these pipes, they run it to different areas. There's 2 pipes back there. It's out of y'all's view, I'm sorry. But they actually run through the beds. There's another one right here that comes out that y'all can see that runs into my baby tank. Now, this one will be changing soon. And you can see where I'm adding the new aquaponics system. Now, this pipe will run to the new beds, and then run back to the baby system, then back into the sump dump. So it's going to be a big circle of circulation. So this will be bypassed soon, and it'll run to those other tanks. So, and then everything runs back to my sump tank. And as it runs back into my sump tank, I pump it back to here, and it's just a cycle. And the cycle's every 18 minutes. And I'm cycling roughly about 125 gallons every 18 minutes. And if you add that up per hour, that's roughly 3 times an hour, sometimes 4 times an hour. And let me make sure about that. 60, no. Yeah, 3 times an hour, and sometimes it'll be 4 times an hour. Roughly 375 gallons to 500 gallons. 375 to 500 gallons an hour. That's pretty good for cycling through. As you can see down through the growing beds, the first 5 are flood and drain beds. Now, I've explained the T-siphon to y'all before. The water will fill up these grow beds, and then it'll create a siphon, and it'll suck it all the way down. And it'll fill up, and it'll suck it all the way down. It'll fill up, and it'll suck it all the way down. Now, it does that every 18 minutes. So it's getting fresh water, aeration, and everything every 18 minutes. That's why I can grow so many worms in there. It's because there's so much aeration coming through there. Plus, that helps aerate the tanks. And, of course, you know, you can hear in the background I have an air pump going now that helps me keep the oxygen level good in here. But the other 5 beds that are past that, there's 10 grow beds in there. The other 5 are where I grow duckweed and umbrella grass to keep my system stabilized. And, you know, plus I feed the duckweed to the fish, so they're growing their own food. So that's pretty awesome. And I can take a scoopful every day and fill it, put it into these 3 tanks, and they're just fine. The bigger fish, the babies really don't eat it that much, but I put it in there for them anyway. As they get bigger, they eat it. As they're babies, I've noticed that they're more insect eaters. So I feed them a protein diet, you know, so until they're big enough to eat it. But the bigger ones, they're just like cows. They'll go to the top and just like, you know, you just see them up there just like grazing like a cow, eating the duckweed, which is awesome. And keeps them pretty healthy and happy. So, you know, yeah. So anyway, as I got 5 floating beds. Now, what happens in there, the water level maintains full. And there's an overflow valve in there. And as the water comes in, it overflows into there and then drains back to the sump tank. So it's only a trickle back there at the last 5. It only drips in there. And, you know how you turn on your faucet to keep it from freezing? It's just a little tiny stream. That's why I try to keep going through the duckweed bins. It keeps the water circulating. It helps the water purify because the plants, any solids that come through, it eats those. The water plants eat those plants. I need to build a vortex filter. I have not done that yet. I want to do it when I get this new system hooked up, connected to this. I just need rocks and PVC pipe, and actually I'm going to put bananas and fig trees and big stuff in big 55-gallon drums, where I'm going to set them to where they're the flood and drain system. So they'll just, when the water comes through, just drips through, and then when it fills up, it'll drain out. And I'll put some big bananas in there. And I was just looking at my bananas, seeing what they were doing. So yeah, pretty soon, right down there, you'll see giant bananas, figs. We have a strawberry tree. I like to put a kumquat in there, put some grapes, of course the moringas, and as I look around through here, the stuff I want to put in the kumquat. This big old huge kumquat right there. We got that as a little bitty plant like this. I had 2 leaves, and now it's almost touching the greenhouse top, which I'm gonna have to do something about that. Because I don't mind if they grow up big. I just don't want them hitting the plastic, because it starts pushing up the plastic and then start doing damage to the plant as the plastic jumps up and down. I wish y'all could see right here, but got to get Krista to do a video on her aloes. She has aloes like you wouldn't believe. The giant aloes, that you actually juice and all that. She's the aloe queen, and she's probably got, I don't know, probably 500 right here, and she needs to separate them all out. And we're talking about it, picking out a place just to grow the aloes, because they're so good for you. We love to juice them. We love aloe drinks, and just the texture of when you're drinking an aloe drink and you get the little piece of aloe in there. That's just, I don't know. That's weird. But anyway, back to our system. I'm getting sidetracked. You see how this, I just built a simple frame and put these tanks up heavy. This is heavy up here. You have to make sure that your frame is good enough, strong enough. So that's why I put the reinforcements of the 45s and all that, because it's roughly about 125 gallons there, at times 8 pounds a gallon, 800, 8 times 25, 200, that's 1,000 gallons, 1,000 something gallons, 1,000 pounds, I'm sorry, 1,000 something pounds up there. So that's why I put the big sawmill 2x6s and the 4x4s, and really made sure that it was stable and it couldn't move. It's really solid, up there. But yeah, they pumps it up. Now, I'd like to get to the point where I have a IBC up here. I know that's going to be crazy. That'll be twice as much weight, 2,000 gallons. Of course, I'm going to move it to right over here at this side, because it won't be tall enough here. But I want to be able to flush 275 gallons instead of 125 gallons each time. So then I wouldn't have to have the backup drones back there. But yeah, so that's the future system, which I'm really looking forward to that. we would like to turn, you know, this whole greenhouse into aquaponics, but we got areas behind you. I mean, you got half the greenhouse behind you that you're not seeing right now. And I didn't have a barn or storage building or anything, so my tools are back there. And we're going to turn that entire thing into back to Eden until we're able to do more aquaponics, hydroponics, peaponics. We got the rocket mast right here. We want to hook it up. I don't know if y'all saw that video with the hidden surprise where he's got his rocket mast hooked up with a water tank on top of it, and they pumps it through the entire greenhouse. That's something we want to duplicate. Since we got a rocket mast right here, we want to put a hot water tank on top of it and heat the water and then circulate it through the fish, and then through 55-gallon drums all the way around the greenhouse, so it's a giant heater. And he said that he can get it up to 125 degrees, the water temperature, 125 degrees, you know, if he burns it, you know, most of the day. I mean, that's a lot of burning, but considering how little fuel rocket masses use, you know, it's worth it. But that's our alternative. We want to heat the fish. I mean, they're okay in here because it won't freeze in here. But we want to get to the point where they still keep breeding during the wintertime. I mean, they have the water temperature warm enough so that they're breeding. Right now, they're like they're hiding out, saying normally they would be up here, you know, harassing me, you know, where's our breakfast, you know, but right now they're at the lower part of the tank saying it's cold up there. So it's been cold for several days, so they're complaining at me, but it's okay. We're not gonna lose any fish this year, we hope. But anyway, I hope that it kind of explains our $250 system, and mostly in stuff like the PVC pipe and the pump and the toilet bowl valve, the stuff I had to buy that I couldn't come up with, couldn't barter for, couldn't trade for. But all the rest of it, the lumber and all that, you know, it was mostly scrap and stuff I bartered for. You know, I traded an old lawnmower to a sawmill, you know, for a lot of this 2x6 material, and I built a deck on the front of our house out of the same in front of our tiny house, 2x6 material. Still awesome. In the greenhouse, you would think, oh, the moisture and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be bad, but actually makes it harder. Makes it harder and tougher and stronger. It's not, you don't have to worry about that rotting and stuff. I mean, maybe down at the bottom or something, you know, you might have, if you got water buildup or something like that, but if you put some white oak there or something, you won't have to worry. But yeah, so I have another video on going through this entire system. You're more welcome to check it out. I'll try to remember to put a link up there and do the walkthrough. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, actually thinking about changing the time of my show, our Aquaponics on a budget. It's only because Wednesday there's a flea market down the road, and it's an awesome flea market. It helps us maintain the homestead here because we go down there and we sell different items, and you know, and we need to have a clearance, get rid of some of the stuff here because you know we are cluttered up right now. You know, just stuff builds up. I don't know where it comes from. It just, you know, people bring stuff. Hey, here you go. We just thought you could use this. So, well, okay. But it's okay. We appreciate it. We appreciate all of it. But we're going to take some stuff down there to the flea market. We want to be minimalist as much as possible and not build up on so much stuff. I mean, I have a lot of building materials. That is not going nowhere. I have still a lot of projects. I'm actually going to, I mean, y'all are fixing to get to see this, but I made a deal with the sawmill guy yesterday, and I'm going to get 100 2x4s, And what I'm going to do is I'm going to board up over this, put a second layer of plastic over just the aquaponics and bananas and the kumquats and all that, and it'll be just half the greenhouse just over the aquaponics. So it'll be double plastic area, so I can just turn on the rocket mass and it'll heat that up, no problem. So it's just something that we've been considering for a long time. I mean, we have to heat. I mean, we depend on this food that we're growing in here. I mean, it's and we need it to keep growing. Sure, we can grow all the lettuce, all the broccolis and cauliflowers and all that during the winter time, but we need our moringas, our tomatoes, our bananas, you know, peppers, all that stuff. We'd like to keep that going too. Our basils, our mints, and we're really working on building up our plant production because we see a real potential there. And you know, y'all know I'm working on stevia. I mean, I'm trying to get up 300 stevia plants. I know that seems excessive, but just like the tomato plants we did, we grew 375 tomato plants, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to see how many tomatoes it actually took, how many tomato plants it took for the three of us to get through an entire year. That was way too many. Way too many. We ended up giving like 400 pounds of tomatoes away each week for 3.5 months. So, and that was canning and drying and doing all we could do to keep them from wasting. You know, we just had to give them away. But lettuces and stuff like that, we did that same thing, and which we'll be coming out with that soon. What it takes for a family of 3, how many plants it takes to get you through a year to put up the can, like tomatoes. You got your sauces, tomato sauces, you know, tomato paste, ketchups, you know, spaghetti sauces, you know, dried tomatoes you throw on top of your chicken, making me hungry. But you'll be surprised how many tomato plants it actually takes to get every tomato need for your family for an entire year, which we're going to be coming out with that. Same thing with peppers. We did that with peppers. I'm doing it with stevia. We did that with garlic and onions. We still have garlic everywhere. We still got plenty of garlic. We did that with potatoes, sweet potatoes. Trying to think of what all we did with, but stevia is next. Sweetener is next. Of course, along with that, we got the we did our lettuces, and we found out how many lettuces it takes. We ended up giving away 4,000 heads of lettuce during the springtime. It's like, okay, that was too many lettuces for us to survive for the year. And plus, you know, there wasn't a great way to store lettuces, and we need to figure out that. We need to work on that, you know, being able to store our leaf lettuces, to be able to have them. We can grow them all year round in the aquaponics because the water temperature usually stays cool enough to where they won't bolt, and they'll grow fine. Of course, we're going to do the bananas, how many bananas it takes for a year, you know, that kind of thing. Just general vegetables. Squash, that's an upcoming project this winter squashes, and you know, the other squashes, the zucchinis, the crooknecks, and all that, we're going to can and put up, and we'll really be working on our squashes, and that includes pumpkins and stuff like that. We did cucumbers. I don't know if y'all saw or not. We grew all our cucumbers in an area that we just let them all grow vertically, straight up and down, and it was an area like 5 foot by 15 foot, and just had them in a big group, and that was enough for us to grow for the entire year. Of course, we'll get into that and how many plants it took and what all we used the cucumbers for. But I think that's it about our $250 system. I'm getting distracted. But I want to change the show. It's going to be later. I'm thinking about Thursday, changing the show till Thursday, because Wednesday is, Wednesday, like now, the sun's just now coming up. As we get later in winter, it'll be later in this. I'll be out here in the dark because we live in the valley. Uh, Trying to give y'all a show. So we're thinking about early afternoon or mid-afternoon on Thursday, and then, of course, it'll be our show on Friday, which we might change that too, because we're competing now with this guy. This one guy, I forget the name of the channel, but he was on and he had like 4,000 people watching him, and that's just hard to compete with, a bigger channel that's got 367,000 subscribers. But anyway, guys, I'm going to end the show there. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Our $250 aquaponics system. I mean, even if you wanted to build this, you're still looking at under $500 to build this whole system if you went and bought all the stuff. So there you go. But we're working on the heat and heating the water. We're going to heat the greenhouse and all that kind of stuff from Rocket Mass. So all that's coming. Krista's idea, that's Krista's idea. We'll also be able to get, since it'll be a closed loop system, we'll be able to use that hot water for us too. So Krista's idea, ingenious, which really incredible. She's really smart about some things. Well, all things, but she's my help opposite. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day. I'll see y'all next week on Aquaponics on a Budget. Ani Ove Ocha means I love you in Hebrew. Later, guys.